everybody. Chip Brewster here. I'm actually coming to you on location, but I wasn't going to let it stop me from doing another episode of Across America Good News Edition. For those joining for the first time, this is a show that taps into the local journalists from across Nexstar Media. You might not know that name, but you probably know your local Nexstar station. We've got a lot of really good news that has happened this last week to talk about. So what are some of those stories? You know I love my animal stories. So we're going to see one about a baby seal. Oh my gosh. We're going to see a capybara cafe, talk about how horses can be used for more than just riding. Then we've got some more stuff. Mardi Gras around the corner, so our New Orleans station shall provide. The cold can also lead to beauty. And then a group of kids goes a bit analog. It's in this day and age, I saw that and went, gotta put this one in. Before we get to those stories, though, we are going to start with one from our station in Chicago, Illinois, WGN. You might have seen this one. It definitely caught the attention of a lot of people across the country. And it's about a crossing guard that took his duties to a whole new level.
Working in the elements is part of the job for CPS crossing guard Joe Sass.
First I saw the salt trucks going up and down Bryn Mawr.
But this morning at his intersection near Bryn Mawr in California, it was something he had never really prepared for.
Then I just saw all the flooding and just chaos.
The city says a more than 100-year-old main broke and flooded the street. Sass sprung into action, picking some of the smaller kids up and slinging them over his shoulder so they could keep their shoes dry.
It's not the job description, but I'll do just about anything for these kids.
Once all the kids were at school, Sass was off the clock, while city workers continued trying to drain all the water.
It's terrible. I couldn't believe it.
The neighborhood also had to figure out a way to get their cars out of about an inch or two of ice. This man got it out, but couldn't roll down the driver's side window.
That's solid ice there.
Oh, it's very hard.
But the car's moving, so that's a good sign.
It was also a good sign so many kids saw Joe Sass on their way to school this morning.
ERIK was the reporter. What's funny is I used to work at WGN, and he talked about the ice on the window. He's possibly the most well-known for specifically calling people out for not scraping their windows clean. So a little bit of a full circle moment for that reporter. Our next story still involves the cold and still involves someone doing some good. This one about a group of students taking their time to help others. It's coming from our station WTAJ in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
It's one of the coldest times of the year, with this area seeing temperatures close to zero. But now some PA cyber students are stepping out of their warm homes to help those in need. In-person events are extra special to PA cyber families.
These events bring my daughter's education to life. The tangible experiences that she can have while building relationships with peers.
And the tangible experience this time is?
Today we're making tie blankets, and they are going to be donated to members of the community.
These no-sew blankets are simple enough for kids to make while still offering warmth for those in need. Roughly 12 blankets are going to Out of the Cold, a local homeless shelter that says they need the extra supplies. Putting the blankets together isn't only a way for the kids to get out of the house, but a way to get them thinking about their communities.
These events also help with community building because it makes the kids aware of the problems that are going on outside of their homes and outside of the classroom.
The blankets are set to be delivered later in the week. 12 may not seem like a lot, but all of them are going to people who really need it.
It teaches our students that giving back to the community is important. Their small actions can make a huge difference within the community that they live.
Reporting from State College, Tim Durkin, WTAJ News.
I love the sentiment at the end of that story specifically, because it's right. 12 is not a lot of blankets. Taking the time to do that, though, it makes a difference not only for those who get the blankets, it's for those who are making the blankets. And I'll tell you, I got a couple of those blankets as gifts from my then girlfriend in high school, and it doesn't take too long. So you can, I don't know if you hear the applause. I assume they're applauding for this story, but you can absolutely do something like that in your hometown as well. One more story for you related to the cold. This one is, yes, it can be cold outside, but it's about the beauty that can come with it.
So what has hundreds of gallons of water, hundreds of icicles, and frozen all over? It's the VEAL'S ice tree, and it's almost ready for your viewing pleasure.
It feels like a fairy tale and something that I just feel so blessed to be a part of.
VEAL'S ice tree, a winter staple on Mimosa Lane since 1961.
It's such a fun tradition to be able to give back to the community and say, hey, come on and take a break with us and just come and enjoy this art.
Winter Hawk and Janet Veal Drummond are second and third generation ice tree makers, and 5-year-old Athena will be the fourth. But to make the tree, Mother Nature has to cooperate. Temperatures have to be below freezing for 7 to 10 days to start building the tree. And after 3 failed attempts earlier this winter, this cold snap has them hoping the third time is the charm.
I love it. It's when I don't have it, if there's a season without it, there's definitely an emptiness in my heart.
The tree is made out of wooden pallets and fallen branches, and then water is pumped out of a nearby pond. The mist creates the icicles. The tallest the tree has ever been is about 84 feet. Typically, though, it gets to about 40 feet.
So if we can connect some hoses, right now we have 2. If we can connect about 4 more, then we can probably get it nice and high and have fun climbing it.
The driveway to see the ice tree is open until 10 p.m. and it's free. They say watching people see the tree for the first time has kept them doing this for the last 64 years.
That's my favorite part.
Yes, to see especially the kids, and their eyes are so big and they're just jumping up and down and they're so excited. And the adults equally, I think.
Yes,
don't you?
yes.
And how long the ice tree is around, well, that depends on Mother Nature, so you might as well get here while it's cold. On the southeast side, Howard Monroe, CBS 4 News.
And CBS 4, that is our station in Indianapolis. So for anybody that is looking to make a little road trip to see that tree for themselves, you can look for their website for more details on it. And I just got to point out, they've been doing this more than 60 years. The tallest has gotten more than 80 feet. Talk about a cool local wintertime tradition, and it's probably going to grow a little bit in this coming week. We've got more stories for you from across America. If you're in the mood for some more good news, I'll see you on the other side of this break. Welcome back. Our first story in this block, as we call it in the biz, is coming to us from our station WTWO in Terre Haute, Indiana. So much of our world, so much of education has gone digital. Well, one teacher wants to bring a little bit of the analog life back into the classroom, and she's doing that in a pretty remarkable, well, more memorable way, at least what I think will be memorable for her students. Check this story out.
How cool would it be to receive a letter from Mexico, Indonesia, Portugal? Well, one classroom here at Linton Stockton Elementary School is getting to do just that.
All right, class. All right, it's time for specials. This is what I want you to do.
Mrs. Lori Folk, a second grade teacher, is always trying to find ways to expand her children's minds while also adhering to their interests.
And I thought that would be perfect for us. And my kids are so loving and kind, and they would love to write back. And so I thought that would be a perfect opportunity for them to practice their spelling, practice their letter writing, and learn about different places around the world. And they're just loving it so far.
Gabe, a student in her classroom, was always so drawn to globes and maps and wondered what was happening around the world.
It's just an exciting part of school, and it's cool to send them all across America and the countries.
It all started from this Facebook post that got dozens of shares that then was spread to hundreds of people. Now Miss Lori's class is going to be receiving letters to their classroom from people all across the globe. And once the classroom receives a letter from anywhere across the world, they have the opportunity to write back as well.
So when we get the letters, I really like when we get to read them, and then we get to just know where they are and see what their weather is and how it looks.
Mrs. Lori was not expecting this much positive feedback, but is so thankful the parents and the classroom were excited to take a chance and try something new.
Anybody can do it, as far as I have found in my research online. And so if you want to do it, you just put the word out there, and I'm going to keep track how many we get and who we get them from, and then make sure that everybody has a chance to respond.
And the children do have places they hope to get a letter from.
Philadelphia and Portugal Island, Florida. Why Florida? Some of my family lives down there. And some Texas.
Reporting here in Linton, Indiana, I'm Alex Kerkhove for your local news leader.
Thank you, Alex. I love a good local story, especially because if you didn't live there, you would have no idea that that was happening, but you got to see it here on this show. We're going to keep that theme going by going to our station in Grand Rapids, Michigan, WOOD, where one dance instructor is using his skills to help those that are trying to stave off loss of movement.
Here we go, dancers, right leg to the front.
This is not just a dance class,
Just like an elevator going down.
but a journey at the Grand Rapids Ballet Studio.
Careful not to kick your heels. We're not quite ready for the main stage.
Once a week, these dancers get moving
1 and 2, 3.
and learning moves.
Rise up and hold the balance.
And pointy toes are no easy task,
We're going to do circles, 4 circles, front.
but practice makes perfect.
Incredibly powerful what movement and music can do to help those of us on the Parkinson's journey.
John Veronal started going to class 3 years ago.
And I've always preached the importance of music therapy, but now it's time to walk the walk, walk the talk, or whatever they say.
You may recognize him. He was a conductor with the Grand Rapids Symphony for about 30 years.
And it was while I was conducting the Nutcracker that I noticed, hey, my left arm isn't doing anything.
He then noticed an ad for a class called Moving with Parkinson's at the ballet. That's where it started. Years later,
Don't forget your 4 directions. It's not a race.
sometimes it's not all fun.
Not pretty. And it hurts.
The pain adds up to gains.
And our knees are bending. 3 to the side.
These dancers are in it together,
Careful with the hip. We're mobilizing the hip.
in this room or not.
Make sure that you're careful with the balance, everybody.
This dance movement started 10 years ago with 5 people. Now there are 8 locations across West Michigan, helping nearly 200 people move with Parkinson's,
Go for that little stretch.
with one move at a time.
And come back.
Nicole Tam, News 8.
Very good.
Very good indeed. Definitely a cool story to see. Someone in their community helping others in their community. We are going to change gears here a little bit, heading to our station in New Orleans, Louisiana, WGNO, where, as you know, they like to do it big for Mardi Gras. So preparations are underway. Let's take a look at one of the perhaps tastier of those.
At Brennan's, the Pink Palace in the French Quarter, still sitting at the best seat in the house, is a 75-year-old carnival season classic. Ladies and gentlemen, Bananas Foster King Cake.
Yes, a traditional king cake filled with banana cream and topped with a rum and brown sugar icing and drizzled with a little bit of milk chocolate and edible glitter.
What's for dessert?
A second piece.
When you take a bite, in a word, it's more than a Mardi Gras moment.
Wow.
Delicious.
So good. Egg St. Charles.
Chef Haley Bitterman serves up a sweet chapter of New Orleans culinary history. Backing it up a little bit, because it was right here at Brennan's where Bananas Foster was born. Owner Ralph Brennan himself takes a seat for this part of the recipe. Wow. It was 1951 with a supersized supply of bananas and a New Orleans guy named Foster with a supersized sweet tooth. The dish was delivered on fire for him at first and for the world at last.
Bananas Foster, world famous, one of the most iconic dishes from New Orleans. When you mix those flavors with king cake, it's better than gumbo.
Throw me some, sister.
You ready to try some Banana Foster king cake?
And now the dessert that put New Orleans on the menu and on the map. It's Mardi Gras, baby.
Mardi Gras.
For 3/4 of a century.
Bananas Foster king cake?
Packs itself into a king cake. Let me throw you something, mister. To let the good times and the good taste roll. More bananas?
You need more bananas.
Forever fostered. Ice cream? Between?
Not in there. Hold on.
Bliss and bananas. Right out of the oven.
Oh, that Bill Wood. That man has made me drool more times than I care to admit at this point, and all because of this show. I learned something today. Bananas Foster's invented effectively in New Orleans. Did not know that. Maybe you learned that fun fact right along with me. We're going to take another quick break. After we come back, though, it is time for some animal stories, and trust me, there is cuteness ahead. And we are back, and I am ready for the animal stories of this week's episode. The first one involves a rodent. I know what pops in your head immediately. It's not that I mean, it is a rodent, and it is massive, but people tend to think they're cute. And now you have a chance to dine with one. This story coming from our station, WMBB in Panama City, Florida.
This cafe offers more than just drinks. Capybaras, the world's largest rodents, are the main attraction here, roaming the space and charming just about everyone they meet. Wild Encounters, a capybara cafe, is now open to the public, inviting guests to sip drinks, relax, and interact with capybaras in a fully immersive setting.
So it was actually a brainstorm amongst everyone on our initial team. So it kind of started as we were very powerful partners with the zoo. So it started there where they're building this new sloth exhibit, and they needed somewhere to house sloth. They own this building, and we started talking about what we can turn the space into to house the sloth here. And as we started talking about it more, we realized, hey, why don't we throw in some CAPY? Why don't we do this this whole cafe thing?
The cafe's design and menu reflect the influence of Japanese animal encounter cafes, featuring drinks, gelato, and dessert platters. Guests can enjoy the experience in two different settings: garden tables where capybaras, otherwise known as cappies, freely roam, or zen lounges designed for more intimate encounters. Each space offers a relaxed atmosphere focused on animal interaction, education, and conservation. And the experience doesn't stop there. The cafe has also built a sloth trellis offering mini meets. Wild Encounters officials say seeing the look on guests' faces is worth the hard work that it takes.
So day one was very busy, but the look that we had on people's faces when those barn doors are first open and expose you to the cafe space, seeing those excited looks at just the ambiance on the place, it definitely warmed my heart, and I know the team is very proud for what we've built here.
Wild Encounters operates in partnership with Zoo World, located right next door, and that partnership carries a special meaning after last week's devastating fire. 7 ruffled lemurs died from smoke inhalation. Cafe officials say they stand ready to support Zoo World as it continues to recover.
Our team here at the zoo is always here to support the zoo in whatever they need.
In Bay County, Heather BAZLEY, News 13, Panhandle Strong.
I mean, I've heard of cat cafes. You know, I've done stories. I've brought stories to this show on cat cafes and other animal cafes. CAPY Cafe is a new one for me. So that's pretty neat. And I got to say, as far as rodents go, it's pretty cute. That's a cute one. Okay, let's keep this show on the road, shall we? We are now moving on to a story from our station in Greenville, North Carolina, WNCT. And it is a therapy that is not unheard of. But if you've never seen it, witnessed it, experienced it, this next story is worth your time.
Rocking Horse Ranch is not like any other ranch.
The horses here, we offer the therapeutic lessons for a wide variety of disabilities. Most common is autism and ADHD and other developmental disabilities. We do lessons with physical disabilities, veterans, support with emotional and anxiety, depression. Horses have a way of helping the body and the mind relax.
Horses give a lot of emotional support.
The whole phrase, the best thing since sliced bread, like that's my view on a horse. They are your best friend that you can stand and talk to. And sometimes when a person is battling depression, anxiety, taking them for a walk and working on horsemanship is one of the best things because they're building that bond with something.
Horses build trust, and Harold says that learning to ride gives a sense of control.
Learning to ride, that gives you a sense of control. That's a little bit different. In your life, you might feel a little out of control.
Harold points out that if any parent is worried about signing their child up for lessons, they shouldn't be because the horses are trained to be calm and not to get spooked.
If you're on the fence about teaching your child to ride, I would definitely go through that gate and come join us because it is a great experience.
Classes start at the beginning of February, and you can find more information on their website. In Greenville, Beata Furstenberg, 9 on your side.
And you can also, like all of these stories, part of the reason I say which station from Nexstar does it, you can find more information on their website. So that one again, WNCT. And animal therapy is definitely a real thing. I mean, the CAPY Cafe, it's unofficial, but that can raise your endorphins, make you feel happy. Horse therapy, I've seen multiple stories and brought them here, like I said, for veterans, PTSD, kids. One of the stories I remember, it was kids who were having a hard time focusing, and that interaction time with horses helped. But there's also kind of unofficial animal therapy. Yeah, your pet's at home, but then there's also California. I'll just put it that way. This one coming to us from KUSI in San Diego, California.
We come down every spring and walk this route, and every spring you see the babies.
La Jolla's first harbor seal pup of 2026 is here, reported by the Sierra Club Seal Society of San Diego on January 20th.
Oh, it's super tiny compared to the rest of them.
Well, he's so tiny. It's amazing that they can survive in this environment. They're so little, and they can swim and do everything right away.
But how do they know it's the first pup of the year? Sierra Club San Diego Seal Society volunteer PANAMA Oza says the docents are monitoring the beach daily, waiting for the pups to arrive each spring, making the first birth easy to spot.
We just visually do an inspection, and when we see a brand new pup, the dead giveaway is that the pup is nursing.
Visitors and residents are excited to see the new pup, lining the walls above the Children's Pool Beach, which is closed from December 15th to May 15th for the safety of the seals. Oza says they're expecting to see 50 to 60 new seal pups by mid-March.
And then they're going to nurse until mid-May, so that's why the protection is something that, we ask the public for.
Everybody is staying back and just letting them do their own thing.
Everybody seems to be really respectful here.
But the Sierra Club Seal Society says after the lifeguards leave for the night, it's a different story, posting a video to their Instagram showing footprints in the sand on the closed beach.
So about 3 times in a week, we have seen footprints in the sand, and the beach is closed, so when we do see footprints, it's concerning.
Oza says viewing the seals safely is simple.
So just obey the signs that are here, the ones that say beach is closed.
The Sierra Club reminding people why this beach is closed in a post on their Instagram page. It's so that these seal pups can nurse and bond, which is critical to their survival. Reporting from La Jolla, Delaney White, back to you.
I'll tell you what, I mean, that seal pup is cute. Any baby animal really has got me. I'm not going to lie about that. But if I ever see a story about a baby river otter, that's going to be the whole show. I'm just going to play that one 6 to 7 times. So you have been warned. Hey guys, that's another episode for you. Thanks so much for joining me this week on Across America Good News Edition. We're going to keep this good news train going, and we will see you next time. Until then, I'm Chip Brewster. Take care.